Kenya, a country of staggering beauty, blessed by nature, a place where once the tourists flocked. But many of those tourists have gone, with hotel chains reporting up to a 50% drop at coastal resorts due to the threat of terror attacks. Yet such attacks on the coast are few. Universities, schools and shopping malls in the cities and towns of the interior have been targeted. Hundreds of innocent citizens murdered. The Kenyan government attributes the attacks to fighters from al-Shabab, a militant group with its origins in neighboring Somalia. And the government says it has a plan. It's building a wall, a huge 700-kilometer wall, to completely block the border and keep those who they describe as the enemy out. But will it work? Because the enemy is already here.
Wajenge ukuta na sisi tuko ndani ya Kenya. Hatutasikia wao wamekuja kupigwa.
And sleeper cells inside Kenya are plotting attacks at the highest level.
Kama umetuma pali, ule president akaanguki.
The government blames an insurgency from across the border in Somalia. But what is the impact of constant police harassment of the Muslim population inside Kenya itself? They're trying to negotiate their way out of the back of that truck.
Tena ushike kesho, tena kesho ushike. Utosha kesho ngine na hakuna magari. Yesu ataingia magaidi.
Amidst a fanfare of publicity, in the spring of 2015, the Kenyan government announced that it would build a massive security wall. The plan, they say, is to separate Kenya from Somalia, the home of al-Shabab.
700 kilometers kutoka kule Mandera mpaka mwisho kule Kiunga. Now whatever it's going to cost us and whatever it's going to take, we are going to make sure that our country is safe.
The new wall will stretch from Mandera in the far northeast, along the whole border southwards to Kiunga. And it's to Kiunga that our team is heading. This close to the border, we're at continual risk of attack from al-Shabab fighters. Travel by sea is the safest option. In June 2015, the local Kenya police chief invited us to see the wall, promising armed escorts. But when he was replaced soon afterwards, all contact with the police stopped. A call is placed to the district police station requesting security for the visit.
Najua hali ya kazi, lakini si uniambia at least ni nani amekuambia hiyo instruction. Hata gari iko nini? Ati nikuje kwa station? Haya, sawa basi. So the instructions are that we finish eating and leave Kiunga.
But the son of the local chief for this area is eager to talk.
Wao tunaona watoto wakipita tu na maskani zao, wakaenda hivi na makatapila, wakaenda hivi, wakirudi hivi. Pande hizo hatuwezi kuelewa sana kwa sababu tunafichwa masimu.
Tunasikia hapa tukiwa Nairobi, tunasikia kuna bomu zimewekwa hapo, ma ID hapo barabarani kama Basuba hii wiki iliyopita.
Unaweza fika mbele tu, kumbe hapo ndio imewekwa bomu na mkalipuka nyote na mkakufanya. Kwa hivyo lazima tujali masuala ya usalama pande hiyo.
A telephone call interrupts the interview.
You know, I don't know this town, so I can't tell you exactly.
It's a local police demanding to know who we're talking to.
Ati nimpatie the person that I'm interviewing the phone.
Yes. Hello? Mimi ni kijana yake. Mimi naitwa Shafi.
Shortly afterwards, a plainclothes policeman arrives and takes the chief's son to another room, then slips away into the rain.
Mambo mengi ya kuongea tupate wale kuongea na wao sisi kama ya hivi na kuna free mambo mengi sana kwa hivyo rahisi, lakini mnakaliwa hapa tunakaliwa kitako, sasa tunaikaliwa tight.
He's too frightened to say more. And soon, with no explanation, once again the police order our team to leave the area. The secrecy surrounding the wall project is baffling, considering the intense publicity at the time of its announcement. Another access route is suggested, hundreds of kilometers north to Wajir, the closest airport to Somalia. It's less than 2 hours' drive from the border. Wajir is a bustling town, but it's on edge. In the past few years, the region has seen some of the worst atrocities of al-Shabab. But now the security forces are trying a new experiment to tackle the threat. They're using police officers drawn from the local Muslim population, men who know the language and culture. Some officers operate in plainclothes, using unmarked cars.
Thank you for your patience. Stay with me because on my side.
Okay. Habari yako bwana? Habari ya afya? Yes, how are you? This is your identity card, eh? Yeah.
This is a senior police officer, but he can't show his face as he operates undercover.
Money. Okay. I'm not out of any problem.
During the search, a call comes in.
There's a call I got from one of the members of the public. Some suspicious character kidogo waliona. So we better pass there. We'll see how things are there.
Currently we are proceeding to the area of
Roger, make sure you're very alert. Make sure you intercept
There's no sign of the suspicious character at the bus stop. But this is unusually sympathetic, intelligence-based policing, using local tip-offs to aid rooting out al-Shabab fighters.
There's these terror groups who are moving in, sometimes they happen to be Somalis. Yeah. They come into their people, so you will not differentiate who is who. So as a result of that, we had to dress like the way they dress. We had to do the way they do. We speak with them the same language. We are doing these patrols. We reach every corner of this town because there are so many vehicles of this kind which are taxis. So they cannot know which one is a taxi, which one is that one that the soldiers are using. They fear they will be attacked immediately. They try to do something somewhere within this town.
The police are claiming success here, with no attacks in Wajir town for months. We ask if building a wall will help.
Initially the border had been very porous. Yeah, they move in. Maybe they move in in small groups. They can come from every direction. But I think when we'll have this wall, movements of that kind will be very much restricted. It will be very much restricted. It will help to some extent. Yeah.
The next morning, our team slips quietly out of town without official escorts. It's a notoriously dangerous region, and al-Shabab has been extremely active here, particularly against schools and colleges with Christian teachers and students. In the spring of 2015, gunmen attacked Garissa University, murdering 147 students. When they ran out of bullets, they slit the students' throats. Just 4 months before, they had ambushed a coach carrying teachers going home for the Christmas holidays. The Christians on board were separated from the Muslims, with 28 shot dead in the road. Al-Shabab claimed responsibility. A spokesman said, "We killed the non-believers. We didn't touch the Muslims because they're the ones we're fighting for." The campaign of violence led to a general boycott by Christian teachers across the whole territory, devastating education for hundreds of schools.
We want them to help us to ensure that none of these teachers is lost again to such senseless killings like the one that happened in Mandera.
Just a few kilometers outside Wajir, there's a school for Muslim and Christian girls. Everything looks normal, but these girls have lost 18 out of their 22 teachers. They keep going by teaching themselves. Sahara is just 19 and is facing her own exams very soon.
It's challenging for me, you see, to teach at the same time read for myself. I have to do it myself over the night, read it, then understand it, and then the next day I come to class to teach others. Trapeziums, divide by 4. That is, we are just victims like the teachers. We can be attacked anytime. Our life is threatened daily. With lack of teachers, lack of security, so we feel we have been marginalized and we have been neglected by the government.
She believes the money being allocated to a border wall could be better spent.
You see, you cannot build a wall when the people are hungry. That money should have been done, should have been put in a project that can generate income for the people so that their living standard could have gone up. So putting that money in that kind of project, wasting that whole money, I think is waste of resource and it's not helping us as a Kenyans.
Sahara says the major threat to Kenya does not come from Somalia.
It may be then that terrorist is living with you and he's not coming from outside. That means he will attack you internally. Maybe they are not even from outside, they are with us. So building that wall, I don't think it will add anything to us.
Preparation for a new lesson begins. The students have exams coming up and have little option but to help each other. This road to the border is said to be one of the most dangerous anywhere in the country. The team is now just 10 kilometers away from where the Kenyan government has claimed the wall is under construction. This region is populated only by farmers who scratch a precarious and often dangerous living. Mohammed Bishal is struggling to keep his herd together in this parched landscape. There's been tragic news this morning. His son was stillborn. But there's little time for grieving.
dadka markasta waa dad soo abaarta oo isku guura ku dhacaya marka hadda cooska waa kulli waa wada jiray markii wada jiran yahay marka siiga dhulku waad arkaysay waqti waxa laga yaabaa in ma artay hadda loodan hadda ilmahan caanay wax kuma haystaan hadda marka raashin magaalada laga soo qaadanayo loodonta bis hataa caan laga dhamo laha waayo xoolihii haddii meeshaas sana jirta intan abaar tahay aad gudbi karin khatar xoolaha waa ugu jirta waxdan la yiraahdo halaag waa ugu soo dhawaashay asoo markuu roob dhaco xoolaha way gudbaan nin walba dadka waxa deegaanka meeshan xoolaha waa iska guureen waa iska moogtay ilaa ayuu guri meel u sameeyaan lahaan moogtay meesha roob jira way soo cunayaan way soo noqonayaan marna inta ki iman inta u gudbaan marna inta iska gurguuraan haddii la helo khatar bay ku soo xaalkaas waa xawaay waa saameyn weyn bay u keenaysaa banina dad maantay dadkan tuulooyinka degan
Just a kilometer from the border now. It's necessary to swap to a Somali car to avoid detection. The nearer the border gets, expectation grows of tight security, guards, and even some signs of the wall being built. But there's nothing here at all. The team just floats across the border and into Somalia. Despite the government's assurances, the border is still open to cattle herders, to smugglers, and to al-Shabab. This is Dif, a trading town just inside Somalia. Unlike Kiunga, the local Somalian authorities are happy to provide a military escort due to the danger. These traders make a living bringing simple goods across the border.
Biashara biashara ya ile kwa ukasi ile kusungusha ya kupatisha tu kila mali yote, kwa sababu hiyo watu unajua pamoja, watu moja unajua biashara katikati hapa ndio mzuri, hakuna shida wala yoyote. Sasa ikifuga na boda unaleta shida, kwa sababu watu unakata ibati pande unakata na hiyo pana unakata. Sasa sisi unaona iko hivi.
Town elders say the wall will break up communities and families.
dalku in badan oo burbur ku jiray xagii waxbarashada anagu waan ka hooseyn xagga Kenya.
The mayor of Dif, who's also the security commissioner, says a wall won't stop terrorists.
nin qori wata ma aha iyo nin maxal lahay nafis ku jiro ama nin diyaarada wata midna ma laha oo maxal lahay waxa kulmada waxa ula dagaalami kartaa nimanka intelligence ama nabad sugidda yani markaasi maxal lahay
And he has an important warning.
wax ilaahay abuuray darbiga amaanku ka qaban kara ma laho way hadda Kenya inta badan dagaalada waxa ka dhacay Nairobi iyo Mombasa xeebaha way ka dhacaan sidana maxal lahay dadka hadda Kenya la dagaalamay ma dad kor ka imaad waa dadka ayaga ka dhaxdhashay ama maxal lahay ayaga marka hore ay wax soo bareen kadib dad guryahooda jooga dadka wax dhibay ma dad kor ka imaanay ma aha.
The same message is being repeated again and again. To find the greatest threat to Kenyan security, it's necessary to look inside Kenya itself. Al-Shabab are never far away. It's 3 p.m., apparently the most dangerous time of day. This is when smugglers and al-Shabab fighters begin roaming the area. It's important to move fast.
Al-Shabab anapita hii anapita kila mtu sasa ukipatikana na yote.
Amalizwa.
Na kuna location nyingine bado ina.
The trip has raised far more questions than answers. Can the border really be secured? And where is the wall? A few days later, back in Nairobi, the team receives a call. A policeman who's supposed to be guarding workers on the wall wants to talk to us. He asks to rendezvous at the coastal town of Lamu, where nobody knows him and he can speak in safety. He's been working at the wall for months now, and he says the official version of events is untrue.
The time we were being briefed, we were told that we were going to safeguard the National Youth Service, who were given the tender to construct the perimeter wall. But on our arrival there, things were different. Because in terms of logistics and all those things, the government has failed us totally. It has failed us.
He produces photographs showing the aftermath of a recent attack by al-Shabab. One policeman was shot dead, the bullet smashing through an unreinforced windscreen. He says his team is poorly equipped and living in fear.
Food delivery is poor. No network communication, no nothing. The rifles that we are having right now are the ones that were used during independence. So what do you expect? We all fear for our lives.
Then he says something astounding, which explains why access to the wall had been refused at Kiunga.
It's nothing. It's nothing at all. There is no construction, there is nothing. We are just here. So that is why media are not allowed to come near this place. Reason, they will be exposed because there is nothing that is going on. They're just lying to the Kenyans that there is a security wall that is being constructed, but in real sense, there is nothing. There isn't any wall that is being constructed. People are entering Kenya each and every day. Al-Shababs are not only in Somalia. Al-Shababs are also in Kenya.
Our team has been approached by a policeman who claims the Kenyan government has been misleading the country by falsely claiming a huge security wall is being built along the entire border with Somalia. And he's brought the evidence with him. His mobile phone footage shows the ground preparation for the wall has been cleared for a few kilometers, but then no further work has been done at all. Diggers and equipment lie around unused. It's just a shallow trench running for a short distance, and then nothing. Back in the capital, Nairobi, a senior government figure has agreed to answer questions about the wall.
Kenya government doesn't even have the resources to build over 1,000 kilometers of a wall.
Yeah, that is what the deputy president has said the government will do.
I think what the government wants to do is that in key towns where there's a huge crossing point, government will put walls about 5 kilometers, put a station where there will be immigration, there will be customs, there will be the intelligence that will man each and every person who will pass. But, you know, people run away with the government wants to put 1,000-kilometer brick wall. And I can tell you from where I sit, we even don't have that resources.
It's a complete contradiction of the government's first announcement. He's saying that at best, the wall will only exist in small stretches. But is the government's apparent obsession with cross-border security missing a crucial point in any case? Many hundreds of Kenyan Muslims have become radicalized in recent years, joining the ranks of al-Shabab. Most have come not from the border area, but from the slums of Nairobi and Mombasa, where police corruption and harassment of Muslims is notoriously rife. Every evening, police cars flood into Eastleigh, just a few miles from the center of Nairobi. So we're going to Eastleigh tonight to speak to residents there, many of whom are Kenyan Somalis. They claim there's been loads and loads of bribery as well as assault and harassment by the police there. Hopefully we'll also see for ourselves. At the local mosque, prayers are just finishing and the imam is angry with the police.
Police badala wafanyie watu yao kazi, watafute watu wahalifu, wizi, wanakuja kuingia mtaa, wanaharas watu. Wanashika watu bure, wanakuja hapa, wanasimamisha watu, mama hawapiti barabarani, wanaitwa, wanaingiza ndani ya gari mpaka waitishwe pesa. Wakiitisha pesa, kama hakuna pesa, wanaambia leta. Tena ushike kesho, tena kesho ushike, kutosha kesho ngine hakuna magari. Yes, yataingia wagaidi.
Just trying to make an honest living in Eastleigh seems all but impossible. This woman runs a small trader's stall in the street.
Bas kutokea saa hizi, saa 2:30, saa 3 mpaka saa 5. Askari wanaweza kunikujia mara 3. Huyu ndampa 100, wataondoka waende. Tutakaa nione wengine, watakuja, niwape 100 waondoke waende. Niwe hata nisikue na faida kwa ile yenye nimeuza, sababu nikipelekwa watoto wangu wataumia na nitaenda nibandikwe mambo zingine. Naogopa kwenda kufungwa. Hiyo kukaa kwa jela siku moja yenyewe, hautatoka bure hata kama hauna makosa, hautatoka bure, utatoka na pesa.
Clive is another local resident who says police flood the area every night, throwing young men into the back of feared pickup trucks known as morongaro.
This happens every day, be it day, be it night, cops around here. Mostly there's this vehicle popularly known as, or infamously known as morongaro.
As he's talking, the police arrive in the area. This is a morongaro, obviously just beginning its night's work as it's still empty. In fact, the police are everywhere. It's important even for our team to avoid being spotted. In Kenya, journalists face systematic intimidation from the authorities. They face arrest, prosecution, and continual threats of violence if they dare to investigate police corruption. A vehicle pulls up behind our team's car. It's another morongaro.
Here's one of those police Land Cruisers that a lot of people are afraid of. Just making the bend, going down yet another street. Looks as if they've got quite a number of people back there already. It's been a busy night. Here they go.
Hii kamera, mkuja kuongea mbele yangu. Sasa niona. Anakuja. Sisi mambo yetu.
Uko shida gani?
Habari yako?
Hii
mahali mmepaki sioni kama inanichacha.
Hapa ni
Hebu you should be in movement.
haya.
We found one of the Land Cruisers that patrol these streets at night, chock full of young men who seemingly look like they're trying to negotiate their way out of the back of that truck. Want to follow them for a bit and see what happens. But right now, it looks like the negotiations are quite furious. It's not even 10 p.m. We've got 4 or 5 people in there now.
The Morongaru disappears into the traffic, but then another police vehicle full of young men arrives on the scene.
Just Nini, I'll tell you if they can see us. If they're coming towards us or anything. One of them's getting out. It's like they want to let go of some guys. Yep, they've let go of one guy. Right.
The driver of the vehicle has seen the camera and alerts his colleague.
The cop looks like he's loitering towards us.
In East Lee, the police also operate from unmarked vehicles. And they've picked someone up.
So they've gotten someone from inside the Aviv. He's being asked to get into the boot.
If he doesn't have the money to pay a bribe, this youngster could now be in grave danger. Human rights organizations have catalogued rape, beatings, extortion, torture, and extrajudicial murder by police in East Lee. The police, of course, do not simply target Muslims, but there does appear to be an imbalance. We head into Korogosho, reputed to be the most dangerous slum in Nairobi. It's a majority Christian slum, and here, there's not a police car in sight. The place is full of illegal alcohol sellers and other forms of crime. These are some of the people who hold power in Korogosho, a street gang. They rule through extortion, violence, fear.
Maybe you can all show me the things that you use on a daily basis. You've got this knife, you've got...
Hii ukishika utoe oda, mtu anatii. Hawezi fanya nini, akipiga nduru, unamudonga. Kisha mudongo na mnyang'anya. Kama akitulia, umudongi.
When you remove this knife, they get scared.
Someone surrenders quickly.
They surrender quickly.
They say the police leave them alone and only come into the slums to take bribes off the illegal alcohol sellers.
It is easier for us because we usually know their days. Because though labda kwa pombe wampiona days, wezi kuja kila siku. Labda watakuja Monday, au wengine watakuja Tuesday. Naona, so tunajua siku zao. Na tunajua masaa yao ile wanaku, jua kikuja kuchukua au wanajipea shughuli. Sisi tunafanya shughuli yetu. Hata hapo unaweza nyang'anya, hata kwa police station post, hapo nje unaweza nyang'anyana.
It's a shocking picture of police corruption and neglect. But according to Aden Duale, government leader in the National Assembly, it's just a case of a few rotten apples.
As we sit here, there are over maybe let's say 10,000 police officers in Nairobi, and maybe there are 1,000 police officers in East Lee. Maybe there are 20 or 50 or 100 who, because of their selfish interests, because of corruption, they want to violate the principles that enshrined the National Police Service.
I visit East Lee quite often as well, and I've seen that it's not just 10 or 20 police officers who do this. It is an institutionalized process of harassment that takes place in East Lee, perpetrated by different units of the police force on a daily basis.
No, I was in East Lee over the weekend. I spent the whole of Saturday. And I can tell you, in the last 8 months, East Lee has transformed. And incidents where people are killed in East Lee has reduced to more than 50%. Harassment is still there, but it has reduced significantly.
The government denies that police harassment is a cause of radicalization. Instead, it blames what it describes as extremist preachers who incite violence. And this is one of the mosques in the frame. Riyadh Mosque in Majengo, another Muslim majority slum on the outskirts of Nairobi. In 2011, the mosque made worldwide news. A UN monitoring report accused it of radicalizing, training, and equipping al-Shabab fighters. Radical preacher Ahmad Iman Ali was the secretary of this mosque until he fled for Somalia in 2009. Now, he's a leader of al-Shabab in Kenya and frequently issues propaganda inciting followers to violence. The treasurer of the mosque tells us their finances are completely open and denies funding the militants. He's willing to talk about the mosque's former secretary, al-Shabab's Ahmad Iman.
Okay, Ahmad Iman, he was born and raised here in Pumwani, just like the rest of us. He was our neighbor. Unfortunately, okay, the mosque has been linked to al-Shabab because of him. He was the secretary for the mosque. But according to our constitution, what it says is that the minute somebody misses for 3 months, he's no longer part of the committee. So immediately what we did, we replaced that position with someone else.
He says the mosque now promotes only peace.
Like, I think you have been well received here. People say that if you come to Majengo, you'll be shot on site, which has not been the case. You have been well received.
The mosque denies radicalizing youth. But a few days later, a youth leader based at the mosque gets in touch. He wants to stay anonymous as he believes he could be a target of the police. He says that youths are being radicalized in large numbers, but it's because of killings and abductions by the security services. Al Jazeera broke the story this year. Kenya has been running plainclothes death squads, shooting hundreds of suspected criminals and terrorists on sight. Others have simply disappeared. The youth leader says this brutality is having an extreme reaction among the Muslim population.
About deaths and disappearances, yes. We have lost about, those who I know, about 20 individuals.
20?
Yeah.
That you know personally?
Yeah.
He says many youngsters from the slums are aiming to go to Somalia to train with al-Shabab.
It is because they feel that they have been forgotten, they have been neglected, and they have nowhere to run. These individuals have lost total hope. They have nothing to lose. They see the state as an enemy than the protector. I've seen my neighbors disappearing. I've seen my friends being shot. What's the difference between here and Somalia? You can die here for doing nothing, and you can die there for doing something. The majority of persons between 35 and 13, majority of them, they do feel that way.
And he has a chilling warning.
Terrorism, radicalization is universal. Insurgency is in the offing from within.
Kenya's second city, the giant port of Mombasa on the southeast coast, has seen numerous attacks claimed by al-Shabab in recent years. Through intermediaries, our team has received a message saying someone wants to meet them. We're told to go to a hotel near the beach and to wait. Later that evening, a woman turns up. She says she's a member of al-Shabab based inside Kenya, and she says she helps their fighters hide out here.
Ushasaidiana na vijana vyovyote vile, pengine kuwapa nyumba, kuwapa usaidizi yoyote ili watimize kazi yao?
Mimi kusema kweli nishakaa na wao, wakinitembelea, wakiniita mother, wakiniambia mama yetu wewe, sisi tuko hivi na hivi. Hata japo pengine hawaniambii sisi leo tuenda kuvamia mahali fulani, lakini mimi najua wao walikuwa ni vijana wanapigania haki. Wengine wanaenda wanapata shahada huko, wengine wanarudi wanakuja kusema mother yule ashapata shahada. Tunashukuru Mungu.
Then she admits she helped a man known as Ikrima, widely considered the mastermind behind the Westgate shopping center attack, in which 67 died and almost 200 were wounded.
Kati yao vijana ambao ushawasaidia, sijui kama unajua jina Ikrima.
Ikrima ndio.
Kuna wakati yoyote ulimsaidia?
Ikrima nilimsaidia. Aliletwa na mwanangu, tukamsaidia katika kukaa. Tukakaa na yeye kwa muda wa mwezi mmoja.
Ikrima, inasemekana Ikrima ni mmoja wao walipanga mashambulizi ya Westgate. Wakati alipokuwa anakaa na wewe, kuna kitu alikuambia kuhusu Westgate ama kuhusu jambo lolote alikuwa anapanga kufanya na wenzake?
Hakuwahi kutamka. Ikrima mwenyewe hata kwa anatoka nje, ilikuwa anakaa tu ndani. Sasa pengine hao walikuwa wanatumikiwa
This woman had hidden one of Kenya's most wanted militants in her own home while he plotted the deaths of dozens of innocent citizens.
Je, kama kamanda wa Shababu kwa Somalia, Amir wa Kenya, akikuhitaji wewe uende ukafanye jambo la ugaidi ama kazi fulani, atakuambia utafuata amri?
Kusema kweli, kulingana na serikali ya Kenya vile inafanya, mimi akaniambia mimi naenda ukatekeleze, amenipa vifaa. Hizi kila mtu amekaa anajua mimi nitajitetea hivi. Na ukiambiwa ukafanya utaenda.
Na wakati huu serikali ya Kenya inataka kujenga ukuta mpakani mwa nchi ya Somalia na nchi ya Kenya. Unaona kama hiyo ukuta itasaidia kwa kupunguza visa vya ugaidi hapa Kenya?
Wao na wajenge ukuta, sisi hatukatai. Sio nisema ukuta ndio utazuia al-Shabab kutovuka. Sisi tunaomba wajenge huo ukuta, alafu ndio tuone vita kama vitaisha. Wao ni wajenge ukuta na sisi tuko ndani ya Kenya. Tutaona kweli hivi vita. Hatutasikia wao wamemuua fulani. Hatutasikia wao wamekuja kupigwa.
Confirmation from a very dangerous source that a wall can do little to stop those militants, Kenyan militants, bent on violence. For months now, the message has been the same. From local politicians, from ordinary residents, even schoolgirls, that the greatest threat lies inside the country itself. Another anonymous call is received. Someone else wants to meet. Again, there's no indication as to who it might be. A location is given, and the team must wait. Then, this man arrives. He's the leader of an al-Shabab sleeper cell, lying low inside Kenya, waiting for instructions. He explains how al-Shabab prepare individuals like him.
Unajua ukiingia lazima uchukuliwe upelekwe huko nini zao ma training session kama 3 months. Unaenda unatrainiwa hizo masilaha kama ni mbio hizi manini, yani fitness. Alafu ingine kuna makomando. Wako fit, unaweza panda pali yoyote, unaweza enda pali yoyote. au bora wamepewa amri enda pali fulani au ndio watatoka waende. Kuna wale wanatumwa kama za ule watumwa Kenya, enda mission fulani, hawa wanaitwa amni. Amwambii pale mnaenda. Kwanza in fact mkitolewa pale, kama mnakuja Mombasa ama mimi mnakuja Mombasa, katika amni kuna department tofauti. Kuna watu wametrainiwa hizi bomu ya kutengeza, kuna watu wametrainiwa hizi nini, kama umetumwa pale ule president akaanguke, wanaoma sniper, watu wametrainiwa sniper. So ukitumwa pale fulani lazima mission iukue. Na unaweza tumwa kwa nyumba, ukamwingia kwa ile nyumba, nataka wewe hata kama utaenda, lakini kila mtu ifanyeje, umevaa vest, iko tayari kufa. Hakuwa ameenda kule kujipaka ina, alikuwa ameenda kupambana na kindume, unaona, na anaweza enda na mapolisi hata 5 na akapigwa risasi. Kwa hivyo hao majamaa tayari wako Kenya, si ati tu tunaongelea mtu kwa Somalia.
Kama ukipewa assignment ya kuenda kuchapa Wakenya wenzako, pengine kwa mahali ambapo ulikuwa ushagrow, hiyo ni kitu utafanya ama utakaa uconsider kwanza?
Unajua pale hivyo pia naleta madhara, ambao ni pia ndugu yangu ule nimelelewa naye, unaona, naenda kuwa nafanya makosa, sijamwambia hii ndio haki, kienda kuwataka palika pale, lazima wale watu nilikuwa nishawaambia, lakini hawakunisikia. Ndio nilienda pale nikafanyaje, nikaataka.
Cold, calculating, and Kenyan. A killer just waiting for the opportunity. It's clear that the problem of Kenya's security isn't limited to a far-off border. The real threat to Kenya lies in the slums of Nairobi and Mombasa, where poverty and police harassment are at the heart of the al-Shabab recruiting drive. Properly investigating police actions or even employing Muslim police in these slums could be a first step. But one thing is certain: rather than simply building a wall, the government needs to build bridges to its own Muslim population.